yes, we are going live. Hello, welcome to my live show. I'm Tammy Walker. Let's do this today. So much going on. My lady dog here, she needs 5 seconds of attention. If I let you outside, don't go over there to that one area. All right, I'll let her outside. That's what that means. And we keep the door open because it's nice outside. It's warm. Another warm February day in Central Washington. I hustled to get on time today. Here I am working away. Now, I worked really hard last night on Juliet. She looked so bad the last couple of days. I'm just cracking myself up about it. What I ended up doing was changing up her hair. And that's where my issue was. Let me find a picture of her and show you what I was talking about. And another thing too is the color scheme I'm working for with Selma Hayek. It doesn't quite work as well with her, so I might alter things a little bit. But as you can see, we're going with some pinks. And before I got any farther and started really blending and putting my pink tones in there, I decided I would stop last night. I said, this is good enough for now because it was a struggle to get to this point. And then she had really dark hair in this, and this was lit up. But when I added that onto her hair, it didn't look very good. So what I'm expecting to do, I'll give you an example, is, get those brushes, is I'm going to take maybe this brown, maybe I'm going to add brown, and you can see I'm going to put it along the outside of her hair and put this in the background. And maybe that will really bring out her hair in here. So another thing I thought about doing is maybe some blues or purples into the hair. Also, I'm not quite sure, so I just thought I would let it draw me in and let it decide for me what I should do. But until then, we're still at this point. All right, I'm just pushing those lines out. I don't know if you could even tell the difference. Did you? I like this. It looks like one of those Manet style of art pieces where he uses that strong black in the back and then in other parts. So that is how she's going, and she's looking really good, I have to say. But we have a lot more to do, and at least I got to this point. A lot of back and forth to get here, you know, just really trying different colors out. Like this should be a light color here, but I put it in and it looked better in the dark. So let's go around and take a look at this side. And I've made myself a wall of paints that I can't get by, obviously, so I'm going to push those over here out of my way. Push that out of the way. Did you know that you can tell yourself that you're going to be happy today on purpose? You're going to have a happy day on purpose? I learned that today, and I thought to myself, really? I can? My goodness. Oh, let's go look at Selma Hayek real quick before we get any farther. She has got a lot more to go, especially on this side of the face. I'm not happy with this, but as we go, it's just going to start piecing together a little bit of work here and there. Pull out her picture. So what we have going on is she has a little bit different eyes here. I can see on the side. We're getting pretty good, but we need to do shadows now and shading and get rid of these darker lines. And her eye over here, I could see like maybe we need to take this section off and bring that in. And I don't know what I'm gonna do about the snake yet. I'll just figure it out as I go. That's usually what you have to do as an artist. Figure it out as you go. All right, we're gonna take a look here today, and I'm gonna set these up and see what we gotta do. I've got some pieces here. We need to cut these down into size. Let's see what size these could be. I think I can use my saw in here. I don't think I should have a problem with using my saw. Okay, even if we're a little off, that's okay. That's a good size. So what I need is to do the whole bottom. It's much thicker on the bottom piece here. It's much thicker on this last row. So that's where I'm getting my extra play from. And let's see, let's reach over and grab some pieces and just start somewhere. It's better than nowhere. All right, double check the sizes I need. That front angle. Oops. Oh, there we go. Everything was off. Okay. I'm going to put this down, and I'm just going to make it easiest for me would be to grab my giant ruler, actually. I love these clear rulers. They're really the best for a lot of art projects. I'm going to put this down, and let's see if we can pull back. Okay, so what I'm doing is putting my piece down here and measure along the edge. I could even just do this, right? Ding. All right, that worked. Let's put this back up. Trying to keep everything as organized as I can, but my table is already full of stuff. Now this is great and fun. It's very messy, but we're gonna do it anyway. All right, fun times. That's why I've got all these little vacuum cleaners I have that I can clean this stuff up with, no problem whatsoever. I got this little leaf blower here, so it can actually make things a lot easier. Oh, the battery died, of course. Of course. Isn't that how it always is? All right. Nice. Let's see, this will go underneath. Perfect. Heck yeah. I got some shims. I'll probably go get those too. And I really noticed that the front of this here, see this section, this top section is gonna have to stick out about that much, which I pre-considered. So that'll be good. And then that top section here, that will go right on the edge like that. So what that means is this section here will have to be raised up a little bit into here. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do to solve this issue that I was thinking of, that was bumming me out forever. I'll cut that out and then pop it up in there. That'll do really good, actually. So this is pretty much how it goes about when you're working with these dioramas and stuff. You kind of just go back and forth to make it work. This is my Japanese miter saw, and it is my most favorite saw. I've used this for so many projects, and I got mine at Harbor Freight, and I actually buy a couple extra because I like these wood ones. I do have like a Home Depot one, but it's not as cool as this one, I think. And this used to be $5 or $6 for this saw. So, all right, we just come in part way, and we're just gonna go in like this with the foam. I also have foam cutters, but some foams you shouldn't use the cutters on because they have toxic chemicals that can make you sick, you know all that stuff like that. Safety first, yada yada. Oh, yay, that looked great. And another thing I can do is I can alter this out or push it in and jam it in there and give it more of this type of effect where it's coming down, but I'm just gonna keep that like this. All right, now we're gonna do some more work on there. Let's see what else we need. I feel like I need some more foam. More foam. Okay, and then I have to fill in the back with foam too. More foam. We want more foam. Okay, I'm gonna look here, and I want this one to be bigger this time. Oh, wait a minute, it fit. It fits too. Yeah. And this is gonna be the same level as the others. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit off of this. I'm gonna guesstimate how much I wanna take off of this one. All right, why bother wiping my hands off? All right, very close. We're very close, my friends. We're going to get there. Oh, I should probably put a center line in. Let's do that to our diorama. That way I will know. All right, it is 18.5, so that's 9 1/4. And just in case I am stupid, I'm gonna go 9. Yep, yeah, 9 1/4 all around, good. And then, cause you know what? some days I'm stupid and some days I'm smart. I just don't know what day it's gonna be. You just, you know. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. I got my giant Crocs yesterday in the mail. I was excited about 4 days early. I didn't expect them to be here yet. I wasn't prepared. Let's do this too. Let's do a little line across this spot too. Luckily, this has a lip on the back of this ruler, so I can just find the straight area. And we'll keep that forever. That's our forever line. The forever line. All right, and everything else, jig over. Now, I'm sure there's some special glues you can use for these types of things. I don't know, I've never used those special glues. I'm just using regular Eileen's white glue, and I use also toothpicks or wood skewers or something like that. All right, hold on. So I'm just having to get these sections in, and then we will be on to gluing it in. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is fill in these back sections here. Put some, and I have to decide from my picture, okay? Now, we have what, it's very hard to see, okay? Let's just do it like this. So, what we have is almost a straight down edge here, but it doesn't kind of look like it. It looks like the artist really wanted to show this, and so they kind of did more of a different design. Okay, so I have to think about that as I'm working. Like where our dirt's gonna be. Let's kind of give a little background section look right there. You know, little things like that. This sticks out too, so we're good there. So we can just go back. And I'm not gonna have to fill it all the way around in the back. There's not gonna be any weight on this. What is going to be on this is the stairs coming down. And I have to cut out little hallways. And I'm also gonna use my joint compound for this. This is gonna be a back and forth situation. What I probably will do is cover everything in joint compound first, and then come through, put my holes in designs, and then I'll come back with joint compound and clean up the holes or designs and then paint it. So this is super easy to make this part here of the step pyramid. And yeah, I've got all the cars ready. Here's an example of one of the long semi trucks coming down off the side. So that's what I'm doing here, and I bought these cars. So, and you can see in this picture, there is no side buildings coming off. Whereas if you're looking in the front, there are two side buildings stepping off. I'm going to only do this back picture. That means that maybe the front design isn't going to be as extravagant as the movie either, because I don't have neon lights in miniature, really. And, you know, it's like, how far do you want to go in making a diorama? Do you want to go in the inside? I mean, you know, you got to really just kind of come up with your parameters for what you want to do. That's what's happening on this so far. So we're just gonna go ahead and finish putting these up. Let's put that up there. Oh, that's gonna look so good. Yeah, I can see that already. That's looking really good. I like it a lot. All right, let's put this up over here. Set that there. And let's pull out some more foam pieces. Is this one also? What am I luck? These were already cut to size. Did the cobbler come here in the middle of the night and do this stuff for me? I'm concerned. I'm concerned. All right. So we'll do that like that. Come over here, and I think I need to cut like right there. Let's just do that real quick. It's okay if it's not right. Come in like this. Oh, that looked good. Oh, but we're a little off. That's all right, because joint compound covers it all. And all right, so we got to that point. Let's make sure that's legit. Too legit. Too legit, too quick. And we're gonna cut that excess off right there. Ding, ding, hacha, hacha. You know what I love to watch is Itchy, the blinded swordsman. And he's always with his sword. I'm not gonna get a sword though. I got a slingshot and the whip. I think I'm good enough with those for now. All right, excuse this for a moment as I tidy up a second. This is not going to do it. You know what a mess is gonna be? That's all right, we're done. I can vacuum after my live. Or I could do it right now for everybody watching. Yes, here we go. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. It's still not 100%, but it is a lot better than it was. Man, talk about a difficult face to paint. I was thinking about other faces I've had to paint and which other ones have been difficult. And to tell you the truth, this has definitely been the most difficult to paint. Oh my gosh. So she's looking pretty good, but I'm not sure exactly how far I'm going to go with this. Now, I did decide, let's come real quick, I'm going to tell you what I did decide not to do this bright hair here, and instead what you can see is there's a brown background with her dark hair around, and that's just for now, until I decide what I want to do about her highlights in her hair, and, you know, get this all going better. So you can see there's a lot of work, and I'm not happy with these colors yet, but you never know. We'll see how it works out, because that's what art is like. You can just never know what's going to happen next. And Selma still looks pretty much the same. She's still the same. Her eye needs to be fixed. When she comes together, once their eyes are right, then the rest of it will come together like that. I've always noticed that. So I'm just getting up this front section. I've got these two bottom pieces. Everything is cut out nice. I cut this nice little top edge out so that when I do put this in, it pushes up and it's even with this top layer, because this is what it is here. Let's come up like this. We've got so many lights in the way. Does this not get up anymore? All right. So, so this top section is equal right here. So I put that notch in there because on here, that top section comes all the way out to there. So I wanted to make sure that was level and even, and that looks pretty good. It's okay if I'm a little low actually, because the joint compound, which isn't going to do much there, and then the sand with all of that, it'll look really good. And then we'll have this in position to go too. And so yeah, I have to do a little bit of designs around stuff and figure it out. But yeah, there's my my reference picture. So that's what I'm working with today. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is let's glue these foam pieces together real quick. Tiny bubbles. All right, what's wrong here? Nothing's wrong, I guess. Nothing's wrong. Okay, I'm going to use 4 toothpicks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 toothpicks. People are like, oh, shut up. Yeah, I know, whatever. Okay, I am going to this is what I do. I put some glue on half of the toothpick. I just put it in there. And I put it like that. Maybe it should be a little higher up. Can you see it? There we go, I guess so. And then I'm going to do this one. Wow. And then these two over here. Oh my goodness. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, what? Is there a knot in this one? Let's try over here. I guess there was a knot in that foam. Okay. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and put just a couple dots back and forth. You don't need a lot. Let's do that to the other one. Make sound effects. Oh, and then I forgot to glue the other half of these. I just popped the glue on. Oh, come back. Baby, come back. And here we go. I actually woke up earlier today and did all my stuff earlier than normal. I feel like an accomplished human being. But this is only for today, because tomorrow will just be messed up again. I'm sure of it. I gotta watch Itchy Boots. She's in China, and we just looked at the city of something, but it wasn't a city. It was the way the rocks had formed over the years, and it looked like abandoned city buildings. What's going on? I think there could have been another something right there. And then I watched Jenna Phillips. Her and her husband bought a house a couple years ago, and their show is them remodeling the whole house. And so they're at the end stages of the remodeling, which is always fun to watch a young couple do all these fun little goals and everything. It's fun to watch that. Okay. And we got that together. Yay! Ha 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 ha! Yeah, yeah! Now, question B. Do I glue it in now? Yeah. I should glue it in now. There shouldn't be any waiting on this. It should happen. Okay, I've got this little thing here. I don't know what that's for. But I thought maybe if I needed to jack this up a little bit, I could put those under there and hold it tighter up once I glue it. Maybe. We'll see as we go here. Okay, I'm going to look at it for a minute like this. Because that's pretty much how you got to look at stuff. You got to cross your arms and inhale, exhale. It's all about drying time. So if you can get like into other steps quicker, then you win, because you're ahead of the drying time. So if I can just go ahead and do this now and everything dries, by the time I put the sand on and stuff, I'm ahead. All right, what I need is another smaller ruler that's not going to fit. I have these, but I've worn off everything. These are quilting rulers, and I actually like the quilting rulers. You can do so much. They're really great for cutting balsa wood. All right, I'm going to put just a line an inch out, just so that I have a reference, a point to what's going on. Yep. And ta-da. Okay. Now I'm going to, I can't put toothpicks, but I can glue this bottom part on. Let's do that. And it's going to be fine, because once I put sand and everything else, it all holds it together really nice. I should do this little section here. Now, I'm sure there is foam glue. I've heard about it. I've seen it. But honestly, this glue does everything. This glue is a Mod Podge. This glue is a miniature glue. This glue is flexible. It doesn't crack, unlike super glues. Another glue I used to like to use a lot is Quick Grip. Let me show you that real quick. This is ultimate glue too. The ultimate glue for quick projects. Like, I used to do all my recycled art with these, and it held on really well, and it's flexible, and it dries fast. This stuff sometimes is really hard to find. But yeah, I love this stuff. It's really great. Oh my goodness. I just noticed it's like a pump out. It's like puffed up right there. Oh gosh. I'm going to turn it upside down. Maybe that'll make a difference. And the white glue takes longer to dry, but you can manipulate this white glue and make it dry quicker. How, you may ask? Well, I learned this from a school teacher. You push it, take it off, push it back and forth, take it off, push it back and forth, take it off, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then it will grip. Does that make sense? So that's how it does it. All right, we're a little off. Something got off but that's okay. I'm not going to manipulate this like a 2x4 in a house and try to bend it straight and hold it with nails. No, we're good like that. So So that looks pretty good. Hold that there. What I can do, if I wanted to, you know, feel special about myself and my life, I can just do this. That's like $20 of blue tape I just used right there, you guys. That's $20 worth of blue tape. Yeah, no kidding. That stuff is expensive. All right, I'm looking around. Everything looks good. This will dry. So what I will do next is take some pieces. And like I said, I have tons of this foam. This is just stuff here in the house. And usually what I would do is thinking is like packing. So there we go. There, that is really great. If this doesn't work, I can just put a piece right in this little section here. Let's take a look at that real quick. So see here, if I wanted to, I could fill a piece there, but that's what I'll do. I'll go get some more of my foam and put it up around and manipulate it in there. I'm looking to see what sizes would come up. Oh, that's a good size. See, like right there, you know? All right. So that's definitely some things we have to do. The next thing I want to look at here is the top of the building. Now, it is much smaller than everything else, and I did cut it to that. Okay, so we got the top there, and then let's look at the second part of the top. Sighing dog. She just came inside. Okay, so let's take a realistic look at this as a miniature person. As a miniature person. A miniature to giants, I guess. Okay. This isn't the good. Let's get a tape measure out. I've got so many measuring devices, but let's make it easy for the public to see so we can understand how this goes. I estimated these are 10 feet. This is 10 feet tall, this section here. And that's kind of what it has to be. So this lower sections are 10 feet tall. That's kind of what I'm going to go with my diorama. So 10 feet is 2 inches. Or 1 inch is 5 feet. Nice scale. Now, we see this upper area, that looks like it's 20 feet. This whole section. So I've got my 2 pieces up here. But this first section, if we say that's the 10 feet there, that means we need to make a lip right around here. We need to bring it in and make a smaller top for the top. In fact, what I probably will do is not even put this section on, but make these blocks. And that would be really cool if I just made a bunch of blocks like this and then put joint compound, cover them up in sand or whatever, and then go ahead and place them on there with that upper top piece. That upper top piece right here, what I can do for this section to make that stick out more around is I could get a piece of balsa wood or a piece of cardboard and lay that down and put it on there. If I do use balsa wood, it will warp. So I have to think about that as I'm going. And if that's going to affect anything, it may not. I could just use a balsa wood and cut out 1 inch strips and just put it around the edges. That might be fine too. Those are just some examples of things that I could do. Now you see here also, it's really hard, there's all these openings. There's 1, 2, 3 openings, and there's a lot of little slat looking things. And then we have the stairs. We'll do the stairs later on too. So what I'm gonna do is put my joint compound on everything first, and then I'm gonna carve away the holes. That way when I put the joint compound on here, it solidifies it. It holds all these little foam pieces in so that when I do cut out, it won't disrupt everything around it, and that won't crumble out too. The other stuff will stay, and that way I can just fix it really easily by doing that and then adding the joint compound inside of there. All right, let's take a look at the cards I got for this. Woohoo! I'm all happy about the cars. Now, I noticed like one of my cars was way... Shopco ain't gonna work. Look at how big Shopco is. That ain't gonna work. Shopco, you're staying with me for another day. So I've got Dole and Snapple. And I probably will paint over these to make them look old and worn out. I love these, how they, you know, they open up and stuff. I need to get a little kit car, put it in here, you know, Knight Rider. And let's see, so I can put these, so here we go, here's one example here. So I put something right down there, something over here, just to bring the length size in here, because the rest of these trucks are smaller. So let's go talk about that. Yeah, let's do it. How come they're all gone? I don't see them. Oh, they're all hiding. I didn't even go through my cars yet to see what I have. So these ones will sit up here. Here's the motorhome. That's going to just sit in front. And the concept for the front is, let's take a look real quick. So the concept is we couldn't do the whole diorama a certain way, but it has to be a Hot Wheels diorama. There's going to be an LED light coming out of this one, and this is going to hang on the wall. So here's the wall. The LED light is going to shine onto the motorhome, and then it should leave some sort of cool reflection on the wall here. I think that would be cool. So it's more than just one style of art piece, like it's more than just one function. So it hangs on the wall. We've got our secret door in the back. And then we have the light coming out, and then we have all the cars that will be parked around the edges. Let's get those. I love this one. I really do love this one. It's so cool. Look at that cab over engine. It's awesome. I did a video on cab over engines from the 40s on one of my other channels. I have a vehicle channel called All Vehicles Great and Small, and I did about 300 videos on there, and then I just left for a while. I just thought that was good enough. I thought I would remember a bunch of stuff, but I never ended up remembering anything from it. So, you know, I don't know if I'll use these semi-trucks, because we're kind of going into it almost, the scale's really, you know, the back end is fine, but the top, I don't know. We'll see. So that's an example of what this diorama is going to be. Just a nice wall hanging. I have decided to do wall hanging dioramas. That's my goal this year, is to do more wall hanging dioramas. So you have to think differently than just regular dioramas. You can be a little bit difficult, you know. And so that's where the concept is going with this, is wall hanging. And plus, because I needed a lot of space up here and little space in the front, is why we have that empty spot here. And I decided to make that into a hide a spot. Why not? If it was on my wall, I'd hide something in there. I don't know if I'd hide anything valuable, but it'd be cool. So that is one concept of houses going so far. Let that dry up. Everything looks pretty good. Sometimes you just want to alter it, but nope, I best leave it. I best leave it alone. So that is how this is going. Let's put these away. Put my little box away. I keep a box for every art project I do. And then when I'm working on it, I just put everything in that box. And then I can put it to the side for quick cleanup. And I'll do that with my paints too. I have a specific box for the paints that I'm working on. What could I do with that? I don't know. But I need to put that stuff over here so I can save it for another day. And a receipt should go in my business stuff for receipts. So all the cars I got were 36 bucks. But I had to buy specific ones. All right, that looks good. Over here, set that down. So I'll fill in around the sides probably and work on that. And then what I'll do next, after I fill in all this with the foam, is then I'm gonna look and just see what I need to add. Like, should I glue a little foam piece there? You know, I'll decide as I go. You know, maybe I'll make this, maybe I'll cut diagonal and put little diagonal pieces so it kind of comes up diagonally across here. I kind of wanted to keep a hollow in this spot so we could come in, because in this picture, you know, it rounds about like this. It kind of rounds around. And I can't really do that whole effect, but I could do a mini effect in a sense, especially with the dirt. So I think that's a good go of it. And then, like I said, because of these, if they're not right, I can easily just cut through, put them in the back there. Whew, that was a lot of talking. We did it 35 minutes of just talking. Heck. I'm behind on making all my videos for all my other stuff that I've already completed. But once I make something, I'm kind of done with it. I'm on to the next. I'm supposed to have pictures taken and all that. Forget about it. I was watching some gangster movies the other day, so I'm all, forget about it. All right, get that spot cleaned up. I don't need the toothpicks anymore for this. So I think that the murals are going to look really good on here. I think a lot like the Willy Wonka diorama, this is going to look pretty good. Let's bring out the Willy Wonka diorama and we can see what the last one I did was and how that one has been. Okay, so this is also the wall hanging Willy Wonka diorama. This is the back of it. I'm trying to, there we go. Hey, yeah, hey. All right. So this is the office of Willy Wonka. I measured it really and watched a movie enough that it is the golden ratio. Isn't that interesting? Now we are reversed, so this is reversed. So I put the half of the W in the floor. In the movie, you could only see things up, so I had to guesstimate on the floor, did the wood floor in there. I actually marred the floor right there. Couldn't fix it, so I think that's fine. And you can see all the half things in the room. The only thing that didn't get halved was this door was supposed to be a half a door. I did not notice that until the last time I was done making it and watched the movie one more time, and yeah. So we got the half diorama, everything's half, the typewriter, all that. And then I went ahead and put people's pictures. So we got Willy Wonka. And when I remember doing this, I was like, oh gosh, I'll never get Willy to look right. And he ended up looking good, I think even better. And then we got Mike TV and the spoiled brat, Veruca Salt. Am I not saying their names right? Veruca. And then Mr. Wilkinson, which is Slugworth. And then we've got the Gobstopper. And then I wrote my name and the year and stuff, and boxyqueens, and we got Charlie Bucket, and we've got Violet. Charlie's face was impossible to do because of the bubbles and stuff in the space, and it was really hard picture to find, but I felt like that was good enough for Charlie. Violet. And then the golden ticket with Grandpa. Grandpa was 96 and a half years old. They don't now, I know there is a Grandpa Joe Hate subreddit, but I don't think people actually realize that Grandpa Joe was 96 and a half years old. And their house was so small, the only place they could be was in bed. And that was very important information a lot of people gloss over. So it's not like, you know, I mean, he already lived a long life. So, and on the door, there was Willy Wonka, chairman of the board, president, vice president, and then director, superintendent, invention. And at the bottom, I couldn't see, so I wrote chocolatier and confectioner. All right, and then we've got Augustus, and then one of the Oompa Loompas. And then, so this is all designed to hang up on the wall. And also, what else is there about it? I don't know, I guess that's it. And then I have these furniture feet. So when I put this on the wall, there's hole here and hole here for my nails. This sets up nicely on the wall. I'm gonna set it over here. So I'm gonna try to, and so that was the goal of the wall dioramas. And if you just have a special wall that you could put things to stick out on, I think this is really great for a maximalist design. Yeah. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate them. Yay. All right, so once again, best tool ever, Japanese miter saw, $5 or $6. You be very careful with these because their blades are splayed out. Every other blade goes this way and goes that way at the bottom. So if you cut yourself, it will look straight, but underneath it will be like a T cut. So you have to be very careful with those. But great tool. Get all that foam out. Put that away and see what else is there to tell you about this awesomeness. Well, hopefully I can get Selma Hayek. I thought I would work on the hardest parts first of this. That way if I get frustrated, then it's only at the end, the easy parts to be frustrated on. I think that's an important part to say. So I've got this in here. Let this dry. I'm going to go through and go get some more foam, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut and fill in all the pieces around it the best I can to add some stability. If you have a little kid come up and punch this in there, I want it to stop. I don't want to, because you can punch it all the way through. I just think about what a kid would do and what I would do as a kid, so I'm trying to make this strong enough to go that way. So, all right, anybody have any questions about this? I gotta stop talking for like 30 seconds. Sandpaper. Let's talk about that. Okay, one thing I'm gonna say is when you're doing a lot of acrylic paints, you can get layers and your edges, like you're trying to get nice, and you'll have a little edge from getting that nice in there. And we don't want to have a lot of edges. It's okay to take and sand it. Sand that edge down. Look, it doesn't really make any difference to my picture at all to sand. Let's come down here. Where is this thing going? Right about here. Okay. So if we have some areas that are off, you can feel it, we can just sand it away. Oh, there we go. Nice and smooth. Look, feels good. Now, I'm not trying to go for smooth on this painting. I just didn't want to have a bunch of lumps of acrylic. And that's what happens sometimes when you're young and you first start out. You don't know how to deal with that and you're afraid to sand. Look at how no damage. No damage. No damage at all. Don't be afraid to sand what you have. You can go back and put a nice clean coat on there, smooth it out so you don't have those edges and lines, so you don't have that. So what I'm hoping to do is when this is done, to put a black wash over this, and it'll make it look pretty, or maybe not, or maybe not. I think it'll just let me know as I go. All right, awesome. Did 42 minutes and I'm already done talking about it, and I've done that much as a project. Let's talk about what we can do at the back. Okay, I did originally think about putting a opposite pyramid underneath, more of a cave triangle, and then fill that full of like hell. I don't know, so hell-like things. I could get some tiny woodland scenics people, and they might even have vampires. I mean, I'm not kidding you when I say Woodland Scenics has all kinds of people. They probably have vampires, and if not, I could make them myself, and I could put them in that hellscape underneath. But I think it's just best to keep with this design and not really add any people. This will go with my Hot Wheels town, and I do make any of my Hot Wheels dioramas in 1/60 scale. Now, most Hot Wheels are around, I think, like 156, 154, but they alter. They're all different, and you can actually measure the cars and compare them to the large car. Do this mathematical equation formula, and it'll tell you the scale of the car you have, and that way you could pick out the scale of vehicles specifically for your project. Now, in this case, I'm not worried if it's off or not. That's okay, because everything puts together, it'll look really good as a whole. All right, you guys, I think that's all the talking I have for today. I have a lot of other stuff to do, but I really appreciate you stopping in and checking out what's going on in my art world. Hopefully these people will look a lot better. And the snake is kind of cute, actually. You know, hey there. And Juliette Lewis. She looks so Renaissance right now. I love that Renaissance. Hopefully these pinks and oranges will go together for her face as well as they have for Selma Hayek. And we'll get her face in there too. It's very hard though for Selma Hayek because I lightened up this picture actually, but it's so hard to see where her eye is. And I'm kind of guesstimating because she has such a unique look. Even this eye I feel is off. This is a very good cartoon character, but it's not realistic. And we need to go a little bit more realistic and a little less cartoon. So thanks you guys for watching. I'll be back tomorrow at 11:30. And have a great one. Bye.